As we all know, Prohibition, the restriction of the production, sale, transportation, importation, and exportation of alcoholic beverages began when the 18th Amendment to the Constitution went into effect on January 16, 1920. Thanks to my unpaid intern Steve, we have the Al Capone of Chicago to talk to us today a little bit on crime related to Prohibition.
What's that? You didn't know it was unpaid?
Nice to have you here with us, Mr. Capone. So, Cipolle, leave the gun, take it to cannoli. Mr. Capone? Well, yeah, good to be here. So, just to begin, what is it exactly you do?
I'm a businessman.
And what kind of business is that?
The kind where we make money.
Yeah, looks like it. It says here, during the 20s, you had a yearly income of over $100 million. Could you be a little more specific about what kind of business this was? You said we. This kind of sounds like the mob to me.
Yeah, sort of it does. What's the matter with you? I'll tell you this much, in my line of business, we got a guy like you, we break his legs on the spot.
Not really a good time. We're kind of on a tight shift. Does Tuesday sound good?
Yeah, Tuesday's good.
Alright then, I'll pencil you in for Tuesday. Anyway, moving on. What can you tell us about crime during Prohibition?
Prohibition unleashed and unsurpassed the level of criminal violence, and violence is a specialty of gangs. Prohibition provided opportunities for gangs to grow in organized crime empires to lead a new level of criminal organization. Prohibition acted as a catalyst for growth of organized crime by providing an illegal structure for organized crime to generate revenue while denying the government tax revenue on alcohol. Organized crime flourished under Prohibition by providing opportunities for organized crime to take over the importation, manufacturing, and distillation of alcoholic beverages.
So you were a mob boss.
Forget about it.
Well, how did gangs such as yours get so powerful during the Prohibition era?
I was one of the most infamous bootleggers of them all. I built my criminal empire largely on profits from illegal alcohol. The organized crime families used their experience gained by years of struggle against reformers and concealed agreements with politicians was brought into service in organizing and distribution of beer and whiskey. Prohibition allowed organized crime members to take advantage of political connections and utilize criminal networks already established.
So would you consider yourself a star of the mob world?
I'm a businessman, not a star. Stars are people who live in Hollywood and have heart-shaped swimming pools.
Why did crime skyrocket during Prohibition, and why did so many people reject the Prohibition laws?
It wasn't that there was more crime during Prohibition. It was that people still kept drinking alcohol, except now you had to be a criminal to do it. Ultimately, it was largely the harsh enforcement of Prohibition which led many ultimately to reject it. But the defenders of the movement seem to have become too eager in their dedication. For example, in 1928, Fred Palm of Lansing, Michigan was given life imprisonment for possession of a pint of gin. In 1929, in Aurora, Illinois, housewife was killed and her husband clubbed by deputy sheriff searching for liquor. In 1928, an innocent insurance agent was killed during a Chicago raid.
So why did the government have such a hard time enforcing Prohibition?
Federal efforts to enforce Prohibition, including raids on speakeasies, were countered by well-organized bootlegging operations with national and international connections. Criminals and gangsters got richer. As they became more powerful, no one dared to stop them. Once they were armed with guns, whenever the police caught these gangs, the gangs often bribed or killed the police. Some at time, the police or the officers could be bought for the right price to become one of the gangsters, making more connections. A particularly notorious gang of the times was my own mob in Chicago. There was also some gangs in Detroit, New York, and other cities. Wars among gangs produced grisly killings, frequently making headlines.
Yeah. Why is illegal alcohol called moonshine?
Also known as hooch, white lightning, moonshine, home-produced alcohol or whiskey, used a still for distillation. Producers and smugglers usually worked by moonshine to avoid detection. Initially, the Internal Revenue Service enforced 1920s prohibition, and agents who destroyed stills were known as revenuers.
Could you tell us a little bit of what it's like inside the illegal business?
I'll use one of my colleagues as an example. No matter how big a guy might be, Nicky will take him on. You beat Nicky with fists, he comes back with a bat. You beat him with a knife, he comes back with a gun. Beat him with a gun, you better kill him, 'cause he'll keep coming back and back until you're dead.
Wow, some story. So who could you trust during times like these?
Who do I trust? Me, that's who. Every day above ground is a good one.
Well, that'll be all, Mr. Capone. Thank you very much. You know, I found you kind of funny.
I'm funny? I mean funny, like I'm a clown. I amuse you? I make you laugh? I'm here to frickin' amuse you? How am I funny?
Bobbity boobity. Boobity bobbity bobbity boobity.